Smart 24. This is Smart Means Business, and my name is Falda Chiraro. It is exactly 10 minutes past 7 a.m. and the date today is 12 February 2024. So with that being said, let's see what is making the stories in today's Daily Monitor and New Vision. Starting off with the Daily Monitor's front page, and that is shining a light on the recent release of S4 examinations, and there was a lot to do with this when it comes to the new curriculum, and there was a lot of improvement as of the year 2024. So the front page is looking at 20 special students and looking at just celebrating them as they excelled in their previous release of exams. However, we also see that on the front page again, there is a little bit of an article about Aga Khan V officially takes over from his father, who recently passed and was laid to rest over the weekend. When we go further into the Daily Monitor, we see that UCE release of results, and there was a lot of improvement, like I said earlier. However, the government sets dates for S5 selection, and that is looking at February 21st to 25th. That is when the selection of the next coming Form 5s should be going on. So of course we congratulate the candidates upon attainment of these results. Now UNEB further withholds results for 980 candidates, and that is basing off a lot of cases to do with malpractice, to mention but a few. But when we look at again the interesting conversation about UNEB, this year seems to stand out because this is our first year that is getting their exams back after the change of the new curriculum. So there is an article in the Daily Monitor about how UNEB arrived at the new grading system, and maybe a little bit about that is that the examination body says that the later grades were arrived at through a systematic and technical process which combines the learners' scores based on continuous assessment done at school and that the end of cycle examination score. Now, if you are a parent and you are having a young student in secondary school, I think you've realized that this is not something that is just happening at the national level, but also when it comes to do with the end of every school year. For example, if you have a student in senior 1 and it is about third term, you would have been able to tell that the results are not just third term results like they previously were, but they also include all the continuous assessments started off in their senior 1. Now that is exactly how the UNEB grading came about, and with that we saw a lot of jubilations and celebrations as 80% of the finalists of the UCE exams actually were in first grade. So that is a big improvement when it comes to the education sector, as well as the recent release of the UCE exams. And of course, with that being said, when we look forward to the release of the USCE exams, of course we expect that they will of course be shining. Moving forward again, we see there is an article about how more candidates pass UCE in the new curriculum, like I earlier said. Now, 98% of candidates qualified for certificates. There were fewer failures and notable achievements among special needs learners and inmates, despite some cases of malpractice. However, the government also stuck with 6,900 failures under the new curriculum, which they do not know how to address at the moment. And when we see on the side of the prisons and the UCE release exams, there was a lot of jubilation and celebration at Luzira prison as the school looks like it did get a lot of success stories basing off the UCE release. Now, despite studying in poorly equipped classrooms and facing the challenges of imprisonment, all the 27 candidates at the Uganda government upper division prison school in Luzira passed the 2024 Uganda Certificate of Education exams with support from dedicated teachers and a determination to succeed. Of course, we add our voices to the rest as we congratulate the candidates upon attainment of this achievement that they have reached. Moving forward again, we see that Aga Khan V takes over role of leader of Ismaili Muslims, and that is in the Republic of Egypt. Now, looking at this, in his address, the Aga Khan paid tribute to his late father, Prince Karim Aga Khan IV, and thanked his family for their presence and support. And that is a situation that is happening with the recent passing of Aga Khan IV. However, we move forward again and see that America Grammy Award winner Lionel Richie is coming to Uganda, and this will be, of course, an interesting journey, and he is a fourth-time winner of the Grammy Award music performance, and he is based in Africa. He will be in Africa before the countries including Morocco, Egypt, South Africa, and Libya. Moving forward again, when we see the financial department of Uganda's economy, there was a new election or a new nomination of the governor of Bank of Uganda, and that is looking into the new Bank of Uganda chiefs list priorities. That is looking at the things that they are going to be doing the minute they assume office. So grab yourself a copy of the Daily Monitor to get more stories on that. Moving forward again, when it comes to the crime rate in Uganda, we see that thieves steal animal drugs from Museveni's farm. This is quite an interesting article. And maybe a little bit about this is that His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, in his New Year's message, banned police bonds for suspects who steal animals and crops. And however, there is a rampant stealing of cattle, goats, to mention but a few, and the soft handling by the police and the courts of such criminals is through giving them police bonds and court bail. That is what he said. So with that increase in high crime rate, of course, we hope that it will be able to be curbed, given that there's been difference in the way things are supposed to be done around criminals who steal plants and animals. Moving forward again, we see that DP questions capacity of new central bank leaders. And of course, those are some of the top stories that are making the headlines today. Now, there is an article in the business sector about mixing business, personal loans, and this will fuel failure. And that is an article coming in from Ochichi. However, when we look at the insurance space, we see that you need to embrace insurance, and that is coming in from Kadunabi, who tells the judge. Now, Mr. Kadunabi highlighted a series of reforms and technological advancements aimed at enhancing efficiency and boosting sector performance, including transitioning from compliance-based to risk-based supervision. Now, if you are in the year 2025 and you have not yet insured yourself or your business, or probably your house, your vehicle, now is the time you should look into it so that you can be able to mitigate the risk that may come for you in the future. The burden does not have to fall onto you directly, but if you have an insured, or if you are insured, you will be able to have someone looking out for you in such times. Moving forward again, we see that Uganda's PMI falls to 49.5, and that is the private sector contracts. So don't forget to grab yourself a copy of the Daily Monitor to see more interesting stories like that. However, when we move forward again, we see that the East African community and the South African leaders resolve and they unite to address the DRC Congo crisis. And maybe a little bit more into the Daily Monitor is looking at teen pregnancies and why we are making progress in solving that issue. And that article is coming in from Miss Miriam Cherukut, and she's talking about the need to increase access to modern contraceptives and be able to curb this issue, because you cannot attack the way the issue comes about, but if there are safety measures, then well and good. However, we also see that the 22nd AFSWA meeting to address water and sanitation is having a number of challenges, and those challenges are outlined in the Daily Monitor. Furthermore, courts should further embrace technology to break barriers to justice. And when we talk about the need to embrace technology, interestingly, I came across an article about how AI was able to make a diagnosis as well as provide a list of medication to be given to a little boy whose diagnosis had been failed by the doctors he was assigned to. Now, this boy had been suffering from this disease for quite a while, and the doctors did not know what exactly he was suffering from. But with the help of AI, they were able to come up with a solution and to actually understand the disease that he had. So if they are saying that technological advancement could be something that could lead to fair and just justice when it comes to the court cases, then I'm of a view that probably something can be done around AI and solving a number of issues. And moving forward again, we see how to care for your treasured wood furniture, and that is in the real estate space. And of course, that and more is what is making the headlines in the Daily Monitor. Maybe a little bit on the last article here that is interesting. We also see David Achila on building sustainable and long-lasting landscapes in this day and age, and decorating a lot, to mention but a few. And that and more is what is in the Daily Monitor, so don't forget to grab yourself a copy, like I have constantly said. So let's switch straight into the New Vision of today. Now, the New Vision also has its front page looking at top schools per district, and of course congratulating our UCE candidates upon this attainment or upon this achievement. And maybe a little bit also on the front page of the New Vision is explaining of the new grading, and the Bank of Uganda bosses vetted, and that is Michael Atingi Igo and Augustus Nuwagaba after vetting at the Parliament yesterday. Now, moving forward into looking into these stories in detail, we see that there is an article about looking for Uganda's most admirable women, and this has been going on, and it is coming in from the Beat, and the award is called Uganda's Most Admirable Women 2025, and this interesting competition will be going on for about till 21st February 2025. However, when we move to the AIDS Commission, or the situation around HIV/AIDS in Uganda, we see that the AIDS Commission of Uganda seeks about 300 billion Ugandan shillings after the Trump AIDS freeze. And that is how much money is needed to keep the livelihoods of people in Uganda living with HIV safe and still able to get their medication. So, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni meets global carbon assets managers, and he is with a vision to increase investors and give them a lot of positivity to look into exploring Uganda's potential in the carbon market. Also, moving forward again, we see that residents petition the government for Bujumbura County to split. And Drama, as the National Unity Platform, endorses Nalukolo for Kawempe North by-election. I don't know if you've seen this interesting video circulating around after Nsereko lost the seat, or after he lost the NUP card to represent Kawempe North, and it is claimed that he had a heart attack. He was close to having a heart attack, as well as some organ failure. Now, of course, this is following the late Muhammad Segirinya's death, so they needed to get someone else to stand in for the National Unity Platform card in these elections. So that is the interesting story around what is happening in Kawempe North, as well as the National Unity Platform Party. Moving forward again, we see that furthermore details on how MPs vetted the new Bank of Uganda top bosses. And of course, there is an article that you can personally look at in the New Vision. Now, 3 family members drowned in Lake Victoria. Of course, we continue to mourn the loss of the nationals. Now, over 98% pass UCE exams, and that is because these are the first results under the competency-based curriculum of the revised curriculum of the UCE, or the lower education of lower secondary education of Uganda's education sector. Now, Minister praises the new curriculum assessment as it has been able to see to it that a number of children or a number of students have improved in their education levels. Moving forward again, we see a little bit about how the new curriculum grading works, and it is quite interesting because it is graded in letters A to E. Now, A is exceptional, B is outstanding, C is satisfactory, D is basic, and E is elementary. Maybe looking a little bit about more into this is that A, which is exceptional, demonstrates an extraordinary level of competence by applying innovatively and creatively the acquired knowledge and skills in the real life situations. B, which is outstanding, demonstrates a high level of competence by applying the acquired knowledge and skills in real life situations. Also satisfactory is now adequate level, and D is minimum level, whereas E is below the basic level. So if you have a student who recently got their results back and you don't understand how that was working around, of course you could look into grabbing yourself a copy of the New Vision to further understand how this new grading works. Moving forward, again, in the New Vision, we see Mukono Wakiso schools for national ranking. And of course, people continue to celebrate and celebrate, but be reminded that the selection process for S5 is between 21st to 25th February of 2025. And on that note, I would love to leave in a side note that the Electoral Commission of Uganda has given a 1-week extension to all citizens of the Republic of Uganda to go ahead and get their voters' cards registered and verified for the forthcoming elections in 2026. So if you have not yet done that, please look into doing it so that we can be able to have a fair and just elections because of the choice that you made today. Moving forward again in the New Vision, we see that St. Mary's Chitende Star Eyes on a gynecologist, and Tare's Best Once neurologist, and these are all dreams of the recent candidates of the UCE exams who are sharing some of their ambitions in life and what they want to be. Now, we also see an article of the First Lady's namesake who excelled in the UCE and so happened to have a liberty or a chance to meet with the First Lady of Uganda's Republic, known as Her Excellency Janet Museveni Kataha. However, when we move forward again, we see that we see an interesting article about a lady known as Nachijoba, and her performance was boosted because of reading newspapers. It's interesting because a number of us don't actually read newspapers, and probably there is a secret about them, and that is what boosted her education success. So you could look into that. Now, of course, there's a lot of celebratory moments of students in the New Vision today, and you can celebrate with them, of course. Now, UNEB results, a watershed moment for education. However, when we move forward again to the tax sector of Uganda's economy, we see that Uganda should rethink tax dispute resolution regime, and that is coming in from a tax lawyer known as Dennis Kakembo, who says that while revenue generation is vital, the methods employed should not overlook economic stability, and ambiguities in tax administration and enforcement create uncertainty, weaken public trust, and stifle economic growth. And President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni foresaw Trump USAID purge, and that is what he said. However, the city infrastructure development versus land ownership is also still a conversation that is largely dominating Uganda's space. And maybe a last article that I can shine a light on in the New Vision is the book that draws extensively from academic research and practical consultancy, and that is basing off the whole new curriculum and the recent release of the UCE exams. However, as Smart 24, we continue to congratulate the candidates upon that well-achieved accomplishment, and we hope that the sky is the horizon for them. So let's go into a break, and we shall be back with Karibu East Africa as well as international news. Please stay tuned.
Smart 24, driving business.
Mama Naj,
how are you?
I'm okay.
Here are your bananas.
Are they good?
Very, very good. But you are always buying bananas. Have you updated yourself like you updated your stomach?
Hey. Mama Naj.
Look at this.
My balance.
The balance. Mama Naj to give you the balance. That is a criminal.
You can register as a voter or check.
Rukia, did you hear?
What?
Vote update is happening. If you don't register, who will vote for your honorable? Rastad.
Zara, did you send that report?
I forwarded your email this morning.
Peter, can you imagine? I just verified my voter's details online. I just verified my voter's details online, and it's as easy as sending a WhatsApp message.
Really? Online?
Yes.
Show me.
Uganda, your vote is your voice, and every voice matters. From 20th January to 10th February 2025, you can register as a voter or check to update your voter details. Visit our update center within your parish. Call 0800-200-071 or visit www.ec.or.ug today. This message is brought to you by the Electoral Commission of Uganda.
Welcome home to entertainment, to Wi-Fi everywhere, to high-speed internet, to security, to first-class support. To convenience. Welcome home to MTN WakaNet, superior internet for every home. Visit www.mtn.co.ug/WakaNet. Welcome home. Together, we're unstoppable.
That is what you wanted. I just don't want you getting hurt.
Let her get out of my house already. You spoil the kids and then you're talking.
I want my son, Amuriat.
What did you say?
Twambuse wa chairman babiri kankubuli.
That's my man.
We have a genuine interest in your land.
Why would someone why would someone tie a big knot on you?
Are you pregnant or you're not?
Until kati mpaka lwemwogedde ebintu ebyekisiru.
Emyaka gye byekisiru. Kati muwala tuleetere chai ino. Leeta muwala. Galo sweet galo leeta chai.
Baby girl.
Are you a woman entrepreneur or a woman owning a business and looking for affordable financing to scale up your business? Look no further than the Grow Loan. Grow Loan targets female entrepreneurs nationwide. Key features include a minimum loan amount of 4 million and a maximum loan amount of 200 million shillings, a maximum interest rate not exceeding 10.5% per annum, a loan repayment period not exceeding 24 months. All Grow Loan borrowers must comply with the Grow Project environmental and social standards. Special incentives are available for borrowers that are refugees or from the refugee host communities, people living with disabilities, and women entrepreneurs from the underserved or minority groups. To apply, contact any of the 6 participating financial institutions. Contact us for more information. or visit our website at www.grow.go.ug. The GROW loan is an intervention under the GROW project, a Government of Uganda project financed by the World Bank and implemented by the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development and the Private Sector Foundation Uganda. GROW, generating growth opportunities and productivity for women enterprises.
You used to tell me that I don't make you happy. All that time you would be complaining. I'll call you every day, yeah yo, baby don't know.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000 or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100*21# and select daily or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Super duper, nest and big alone. You are never left alone. Over school fees, over home alone. Now you are just yalla. There's no other bank that can give you a loan that is better. 16% interest, 96 month repayment. 350 million in amount. Kugambye super duper, chili super duper, nest and big super duper.
Chili Super Duper with a Stanbic salary loan. Enjoy interest rates as low as 16% per annum, which is 1.34% per month, with a repayment period of a full 96 months, which means smaller repayment installments among other benefits. For more information, contact us on 0800 150 150.
Smart 24, driving business.
Yes, it is exactly 23 minutes to the top of the hour. That is of 8 a.m. This is Smart Means Business. Manju Barija and of course Paul the Curable was driving in through the morning call as we had what is happening definitely into the press. Now, as we cross over, as we take a look at East Africa, now the government of Kenya plans more toll roads, that is discounts, penalties, that is to finance maintenance. Now, the Ministry of Roads and Transport is mulling discounts to motorists as it seeks to move, that is to toll more new and improved roads to finance policy currently out of the public review. Now, maintaining Kenya's current road network needs about 253.5 billion annually, while the estimated road maintenance levy fund collection, that is for the financial year 2024-2025, is exactly 100 billion Kenyan shillings. Now, there is already an outstanding maintenance backlog estimated at exactly 500 billion Kenyan shillings, worsened by the recent El Nino rains and the current extreme floods. But according to the draft road tolling policy, that is for 2025, high occupancy private vehicles, electrical cars, and the frequent users will be eligible. Now, this is according to the statement that the officials actually made. They said that the local vehicles forced to pass a toll charging point on a toll road in order to make a short local journey may be granted the discounts to enable them pay the toll tariffs in proportion to their frequent use. This is according to the draft. Now, the tolls will be introduced on the roads which require user charges, that is to be financially viable and newly constructed, that have been improved relative to their previous standards, which are higher quality than the untolled roads. For example, they mentioned something about offering multiple lanes, all heightened. They call them the heightened safety modifications, and then the draft processes, amending several laws, including that is the Insurance Act, to create a mandatory settlement of the outstanding tolls and penalties before the mandatory motor insurance policy is actually issued. Now, we see that the NTCA Act is to give them power to deny the provision of the services to vehicle owners with outstanding tolls and related penalties. Now, the report still says that in 2024 August, the Kenya National Airways Authority stated that Thika Superhighway, Kenolsa Ghana Marua Road, and the Nairobi Nakuru Mau Summit Highway are potential candidates for tolling. Others include the Nairobi Southern Bypass, the Mombasa Southern Bypass, and the newly completed Dongo Kundu Bypass. So we're talking about the tolling system. So the government of Kenya is actually looking up to more toll roads, you know, discounts, penalties to finance maintenance. So that is one of the only way that the Kenyan government feels can actually be in control when it comes to maintaining the roads, you know. And it's been quite a huge case in Uganda. Road maintenance, the maintenance bit of it doesn't really meet the standards as compared to, can I say, the vehicles that actually use the infrastructure. If you take a look at the rate and the materials that are used to keep the roads in order, they're not really in position to actually sustain the road for quite a longer time. And that's why you see, even when they try to do the maintenance bit, is because like when they try to make the maintenance, it doesn't last long, you know. And reason being due to lack of the available funds. So the quality when it comes to, you know, the quality that is used to maintain doesn't meet up to those standards. So the government of Kenya is actually looking into that. Then in other stories, we see fintech, that is OA Pay, expands remittance services to Kenya and also for other markets. And of course, we've talked about Kenya and its fintech sector and how the rate at which it's actually growing, it's very incredible. Now, a fintech licensed firm in the UK and several states in the United States has expanded operations in Kenya, Ghana, Nigeria, Uganda, and Tanzania too at the same time. Now, the OA Pay is set to join the fray of digital remittance companies moving into the continent to facilitate what we call the cross-border payments and simplify international monetary transactions. Now, Kenya's diaspora remittances last year rose to an all-time high of about 640.8 billion. That is up from 542.4 billion in 2023. Now, the volumes of the transactions involved between Africans in the diaspora and those living in the continent have attracted scores, that is of the fintechs, hoping to act as the intermediaries between traditional banks and mobile money solutions. Now, one of the executive officers said that our mission is to provide the base money transfer services as we help our valued members support. Of course, they help their valued members to support their loved ones back home and achieve economic success in their designated countries of operation. Now, we see that remittance startups founded by the Africans have actually sold to outcompete the traditional West End-based companies like MoneyGram. We have Western Union. By leveraging digital infrastructure, we are seeing that these financial technology institutions are striving towards removing the barriers to international transactions that cause delays and higher costs. Now, as many Africans migrate abroad, sending back money home has actually garnered interest not only within the financial sector, but also the government the governments are keen on benefiting their forex inflows. Now, remittances account for about 5% of the GDPs in over 15 African countries, but the policymakers are concerned about the costs of production, the costs of operating business, the taxation and all that. Now, innovation in the fintech sector brews competition, following different platforms to iterate transaction experiences and also discover ways to actually reduce the costs. So OA is actually opening up to also have operations within Kenya and other countries within the country. Now, as we head into other reports still within East Africa, let's take a look at the DRC crisis summits, which are facing a mediation nightmare. Now, last weekend, the East African community and the Southern Development Community met in Tanzania to find the best path to a sustainable political solution in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. Most especially the crisis that is really making headlines all over the place. Now, in addition, that is calling a ceasefire and merging the parallel Luanda and Nairobi processes, the heads of state also directed military chiefs to design a securitization plan, that is for Goma. So they were told to design a securitization plan, a plan to secure Goma, in other words. Now, the summit was the most high-level regional gathering on the current escalation in Eastern DRC, which has actually been worsened by diplomatic and political brinkmanship. Now, while most key players have routinely said that there is no military solution to the crisis, the option of mediation will actually depend on whether the warring parties and their backers can actually find solutions at the table, and whether those solutions will actually last longer than the previous ones. That's what they said. Now, they say that we need the active, constructive role of all the players, namely the neighboring countries. They mentioned the sub-regional organizations, the African Union, and the United Nations. Now, the United Nations Secretary General, that is Antonio Guterres, said at a press briefing in New York, that is what he said, that we need the active, constructive role of all the players to really find a solution for Congo. Now, as we proceed, in many ways, DRC's conflicts have actually always been a multi-country confrontation. Now, Kinshasa has the military support of troops from SADC countries, Burundi, and a host of mercenary groups, while Rwanda has repeatedly denied that it has thousands of troops supporting M23's cause. Now, the United Nations investigations have also showed that that M23 is getting support from Uganda, and the militia group has cobbled together an alliance with several other armed groups. Now, Kinshasa also deployed its own homegrown militias in addition, that is to the foreign mercenaries, to bolster its military strength. Now, the conflict is also just the latest in a cycle of shifting alliances that actually tends to depend on the on immediate state interests and political considerations. Now, after this election in 2019, for example, President Felix Tshisekedi signed off on the Rwandan troops hunting down rebels within the DRC. Now, this has since shifted at Kinshasa, as Kinshasa demands Kigali's troops exit the country, which Kigali denies, and they are in the first place, and has escalated into diplomatic spat that is between Rwanda, the DRC, and now South Africa. Recently, we had confrontations between the president of Rwanda, the president of South Africa, over that crisis, But you see, the big question here is if East Africa has actually failed to solve some of its domestic related challenges, then how do we talk about a united East Africa, talking about a community, when within the community there are civil wars that actually are happening within. So how are we going to deal with that? And also taking a look at Africa. We're talking about the African Continental Free Trade Area. We're talking about unity, and all this stuff. But the question is, to what degree are we ready to find a solution to our very own challenges that they are responsible, for the hindrances when it comes to economic growth and prosperity? I like what the former president of Kenya told the Kenyans when Donald Trump had actually canceled the USAID funding. He told them that you waste money to buy guns, to kill your brothers, to kill your cousins. The wars that you use, that you're fighting these guns for, are not for the benefit of the country in any way, but rather to divide the country further by allocating resources. Let me call it uneven distribution of the resources. You buy the guns, you can't kill your brothers and sisters because you want to take over their wealth, So instead of establishing something that is going to help a brother and also the grandchild of that brother, in other words, if we have that mindset, then we have a bright future set for the coming generations in East Africa. But if we still have these selfish, mindful doubts, we always about us, then the crisis is getting much more worse. And who are we to say that we can actually handle the possible impacts it can actually cause? All right, now that is it from the Caribbean, East Africa. And now let's switch and take a look at what's making headlines beyond the borders of East Africa.
Smart 24, driving business.
Well, as we head into the international scene, Donald Trump says no exemptions with metal tariffs to start in March. Now, leaders in Europe and Canada have said that they will not let Donald Trump his plans to hit. There are still on aluminium exports with tariffs when the tariffs go unchallenged. Now, the European Commission President, that is Ursula von der Leyen, said that the move would actually trigger firm and appropriate countermeasures. While the Prime Minister, that is Justin Trudeau, has also pledged to stand up for Canadian workers and businesses at the same time. Now, the comments came after the United States President ordered a 25% import tax on steel and aluminum entering the United States of America. Now, the previous exemptions of allies, including Canada and the European Union, are marking major expansion, that is to the trade barriers. Now, Donald Trump said he was simplifying the rules and the measures would actually boost domestic production. That is what he said. Now, this is a big deal, the beginning of making America rich again. Trump said signing the proclamation, which said measures would actually come into force come 12th of March. Now, our nation requires steel and aluminum to be made in America, not in the foreign lands, he added. Now, the United States is the world's largest importer of steel, counting Canada, Brazil, and Mexico as the top three suppliers. Now, Canada alone, according to the reports, accounted for more than 50% of aluminum imported into the United States, that is last year. Now, the tariffs will actually raise the cost of bringing the metals into the United States, sparking concern among the businesses in the United States that rely on the imports and many world leaders because it will make it more expensive for the companies to sell their products in the world's largest economy. Now, if the tariffs could actually come into force as outlined, they're expected to have the most significant impact on Canada. Now, Trudeau called the threatened tariffs unacceptable and hoped talks with the Trump administration would actually resolve the issue without the need for the dollar-for-dollar retaliation. Now, the European Commission President, that is Ursula von der Leyen, warned the unjustified tariffs on the European Union will actually not go unanswered. He definitely came out and warned. At a press conference, Mexico's economy minister called the tariffs unjustified but did not outline the retaliation plans, while South Korea's acting president said that this country's strategy would actually be to build close relationship with the Donald Trump administration. So let us see how far these tariffs really take the world trade. You know, already there is a lot of grappling, you know, and I remember Donald Trump was actually known to be a crypto fan. And of late, his policies, since they are causing a lot of tension and chaos on a global scale, there seems to be some sort of some industries that are actually being affected, most especially if we can take a look at the crypto trading industry is becoming a bit unpopular because remember, Trump was a pro-crypto person. Even there is a coin, his coin, the Trump coin. So it's all, and remember these crypto markets really largely depend on hype, you know, the public acceptance of something. So let's wait and see. Now, Amazon bans number plates as illegal supply found. Now, online retailer Amazon is banning the sale of car number plates on its platform after a BBC London investigation exposed that they were being illegally supplied. Now, the BBC found that some companies on the platform were selling plates without checking customers' documents and establishing their entitlement to the plate. Now, it is illegal for the United Kingdom companies to supply number plates without physically seeing the documents such as the driver's license or the V5 document. Now, Amazon said that all the 7 products from the companies the BBC investigated had actually been removed from the sales of all the number plates that would cease a part of the novelty plates. Now, illegal supply allows easy access to number plates, officially known as vehicle registration plates, which the criminals can actually can then use to clone. Now, number plate cloning involves placing a copied plate on a similar looking vehicle. Now, all fines and penalties are sent, that is, to the innocent owner of the original vehicle. Now, the BBC brought the number plates on the Amazon from the 7 suppliers who topped the listing of the day of purchase, and all the number plates ordered were delivered without the BBC having to produce any of the documents related to that. Well, that is it for our Caribbean, East Africa and International Updates report. And just in case you just joined us, of course, we had reports regarding the retaliation of Donald Trump's tariff policies, countries like Canada coming in to retaliate. And then we have a report from Caribbean, East Africa, as the Kenyan government is actually looking up to more tolls as one of the ways to raise revenue for road maintenance. So more road tolls looking into, so they are considering to make the citizens actually pay for the usage of these services, purposely to get the money to maintain them. Well, that is it for now. Let's go for the break. And we have our business update coming up and the business tips and quotes. Stick around.
Smart 24, driving business.
Njagala kulaba taata wange.
Bulira jangu wano. Mwana wange oluvannyuma tusisinkanye.
Toli kitange.
Nguzu yakoma okuzaala dda nnyo nga tannaba nakuwasa mmwe.
Kati olaba byonna ebituuseewo.
Naye kiki kyonjagaza?
Mujja wange aninako obujja. Tanjagala ewatali nsonga.
Amakya gano tugamala effembe mukwano. Watali n'eddagala.
Fire is burning on the mountain like genda olisaasanye mu nnyumba ye.
Ono uncle.
Eki?
Are you a woman entrepreneur or a woman owning a business and looking for affordable financing to scale up your business? Look no further than the Grow Loan. Grow Loan targets female entrepreneurs nationwide. Key features include a minimum loan amount of 4 million and a maximum loan amount of 200 million shillings, a maximum interest rate not exceeding 10.5% per annum, a loan repayment period not exceeding 24 months. All Grow Loan borrowers must comply with the Grow Project environmental and social standards. Special incentives are available for borrowers that are refugees or from the refugee host communities, people living with disabilities, and women entrepreneurs from the underserved or minority groups. To apply, contact any of the 6 participating financial institutions. Contact us for more information or visit our website at www.grow.go.ug. The Grow Loan is an intervention under the Grow Project, a Government of Uganda project financed by the World Bank and implemented by the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development and the Private Sector Foundation Uganda. Grow, generating growth opportunities and productivity for women enterprises.
Here's your chance to win school fees for your child for a whole year. Just pay school fees using Momo.
Abantu be Buloba mwenna olunaku olwaleero tuli wammwe wano ku St Paul Kindergarten nga tukuze kukola ki tuze kuwa muzadde waffe eyawangudde school fees za mwaka mulamba. Kyeyakoze jogajoga yasasuza school fees we n'akozesa school pay bw'atyo n'awangula.
Nasooka kwogera amannya ga mwana mulala ngenda okuwulira ng'asiriikiridde nenooza tewakinzizeemu si kituufu ne mugamba nyinawo abaana babiri kyava mbuza omulala y'ani ne mubuulira amannya ge n'angamba oyo oli muwanguzi waffe ne MTN Momo wawangudde school fees gwe muwanguzi wa wiiki eno.
Dial *165*80#. Select option 2 for school pay. Select option 1 to pay school fees. Enter the student number and amount and approve the transaction. You will now enter the draw to win school fees for your child for a whole year.
75 days since the last day of last season. We are ready to do it all again.
Get all the football on DSTV Cutback for only 110,000 shillings per month.
No matter your entertainment needs, Showmax has a selection of plans for you to choose from. The Showmax entertainment plan is perfect for you and your family. Watch Showmax originals, hit international and local series and movies. If you're a solo streamer, you can get all this on one mobile device. And for all the die-hard PL fans, catch all the live games on the Showmax Premier League mobile plan. Showmax has your back. Sign up today and let your streaming good life begin.
Tuli mu January na ye don't worry kuwanga chiri super duper. Next and big Saturday lonely. You are never left alone. Over school fees, our home alone. Now you are just yalla. There's no other bank that can give you a loan that is better. 16% interest. 96 month repayment. 350 million in amount. Kugambye super duper. Chili super duper. Next and big is super duper. Chili super duper. Next and big bank super duper.
Chili Super Duper with a Stanbic salary loan. Enjoy interest rates as low as 16% per annum, which is 1.34% per month, with a repayment period of a full 96 months, which means smaller repayment installments among other benefits. For more information, contact us on 0800 150 150.
Okaribu.
Mama Naj.
How are you?
I'm okay.
Here are your bananas.
Are they good?
Very, very good.
Uh-huh.
But Okaribu, you are always buying bananas. Have you updated yourself? Like you updated yourself?
Myself.
Hey.
Mama Naj.
Look at this.
My balance.
The balance. Mama Naj to give you the balance. That is a criminal.
You can register as a voter or check.
Rukia, did you hear?
What?
Vote update is happening. If you don't register, who will vote for your honorable? Trusted.
Zara, did you send that report?
I forwarded your email this morning. Peter, can you imagine? I just verified my voter's details online. I just verified my voter's details online, and it's as easy as sending a WhatsApp message.
Online?
Yes.
Show me.
Uganda, your vote is your voice, and every voice matters. From 20th January to 10th February 2025, you can register as a voter or check to update your voter details. Visit our update center within your parish. Call 0800-200-071 or visit www.ec.or.ug today. This message is brought to you by the Electoral Commission of Uganda.
Cooking oil like no other makes your meal so sweet and scrumptious. Hey, the taste of Uganda. Yeah, I want ya. The taste of Uganda. Yeah, I want ya. Fortune family. The taste of Uganda.
Smart 24, driving business.
Inspiration is definitely part of our morning recipe all the time, and we believe that when we take a look at the tapes of the people that have actually walked before this world of business and they have experienced what they have experienced, and definitely they come down to tell us what their stories like, what they faced, what decisions they had to make at a certain point. That is what defined them. So if it defined them, that means it can define you too. Let's get inspired. That is Joe Farrer, and he's the founder of the Sneaker Lab, and he's talking about how consumers really connect with brands. So a lot more, and I think we've had discussions similar to that here on Smart Means Business before. Now, as we get into other quotes today, today is Wednesday, the 12th of February 2025. Now, the quote of the day today here on Smart Means Business is coming in from Bill Murray. Another quote here is Bill Murray says that we're born alone. We do need each other. It is lonely to really effectively live your life. And, he says, it is lonely to effectively live your life. And anyone you can get help from or give help, that's part of your obligation. So anyone you can help or get help from, That is part of your obligation. We are born alone and we need each other. And this really applies in all various ways. We cannot avoid that, teamwork, which leads to specialization and execution of tasks. In networking, there is something we call subnating. When you're trying to, create internet for big corporation, different departments, you have to ensure that you break it down into achievable, it's more like a whole city. You divide it into neighborhoods, as subdivisions for you to deliver in a service. So this is what we're talking about. So that separation of responsibilities and each concentrates on what they can actually execute best is the way to go out here. Well, away from that now, as we get into our business update this morning, high interest rates are expected to actually squeeze businesses despite the central bank reduction of the CBR. Now, according to the reports, the bank recently reduced the bank rate to about 9.5%. But of course, despite all that, inflation is definitely inevitable. It seems to be very inevitable. And it explains why the last 2 weeks we've had reports about people resulting into borrowing from cooperatives, saving cooperatives. We had a story from the Traders Insider. I think this very year, it could have been this year. They also decided to adapt the trend of, borrowing from the SACCOs because financial institutions seem to be a bit of incompetent. Now, despite the central bank easing monetary policy in October 2024, interest rates remain high, posing challenges for the businesses across the country. Now, last Thursday, the Bank of Uganda maintained the central bank rate at exactly 9.75%. And now this was aiming to control inflation while fostering economic growth. However, due to the fiscal policy stance, interest rates have remained elevated, making it harder for the businesses to actually access affordable credit. So it's being hyped up in that way. So according to the Bank of Uganda, the private sector credit growth slowed in the last quarter of 2024. Now, in 3 months leading to December, the PCC grew, that is the private sector credit grew by 7.8%, down from 8.9% in the previous quarter. That is according to what the report states. Now, listen to this. The loans that dominated in Ugandan shillings declined slightly. That is from 10.3% to 10%, while the foreign currency denominated loans dropped significantly from 4.9% to about 2%. That is still what the reports say. Now, meanwhile, the commercial lending rates fell only slightly. That is from 18.6%. This is according to, that is in September, to 18.3% in December, keeping the credit costs high. Now, the question is how the high interest rates are impacting businesses. Now, of course, we're seeing the loans are being very expensive to finance. Now with borrowing costs remaining high, many businesses struggle to secure funds for expansion. We're talking about technological upgrades or hiring additional staff. And this actually explains when we have the market whereby people are well versed with the financial markets. And these companies can actually collect a pool of resources to expand operations and also increase on the quality and the quantity of the product and the service that they give out to the public. And they can actually expand further and make a lot of money. Why? Because they have a pool. They have a pool. That is the stock market where they can collect all these funds. Now, this limitation affects productivity and slows Uganda's overall growth. Now, the businesses that are depending on loans for the day-to-day operations definitely face higher repayment burdens. As we know that as profit margins shrink, Some enterprises have actually delayed expansion plans, while others have passed increased costs onto consumers, leading to rising prices of the goods and the services. Now, what is the economic outlook? A tightrope walk, despite what we actually saying. Now, despite these concerns, the Bank of Uganda remains optimistic about Uganda's economic trajectory, and now the central bank projects GDP growth of 6% to 6.5% in the financial year 2024-2025, with expectations of reaching 7% in the coming years. Now, inflation has followed expected trends, supported by stable exchange rate, talking about the favorable food, energy prices, and a relatively low global inflation environment. Like we all know that 2024, all the central banks around the globe, it's one of the victories that we fought actually and defeated as a race, as humanity. That was inflation. That is Camp 2024. However, despite all this, the Bank of Uganda warns that risks remain high. Global trade tensions and increased government spending pressures could actually disrupt inflation control and economic stability. Yeah, that is the fears that come across that. And as businesses brace for effects of elevated interest rates, the coming months will actually be very crucial in determining how well Uganda navigates these financial hurdles while maintaining economic momentum. So, looking into all that, interest rates, high interest rates are expected to squeeze the business despite the CBR reduction. Remember, by the time this has actually been reduced, some businesses had already borrowed at a certain interest rate. So they need to get down on the stock that they have, and they can't get down on that stock at a loss. And it's piling up so much. And of course, following the recent freeze of aid and all that. So talking about political instability can be a possibility to discuss about, it could be huge possibilities, just like the report also highlighted and hint on it. Now, heading into other stories, Nwagaba pledge and Atingigo, they pledged to strengthen cybersecurity at the central bank. Of course, congratulations to the new governor and the deputy governor. Now, the parliament has voted Michael Tingigo as the substantive governor of the Bank of Uganda and Professor Augustus Nwagaba as the deputy governor. Now, their engagement with the appointments committee took the entire morning, during which they committed to addressing cybersecurity threats and warned the government against excessive borrowing. Now, following his vetting, Atingigo promised to build a robust systems that is to prevent cybersecurity breaches at the central bank, which recently suffered a scandal involving a loss of 60 billion, that is in October, 60 billion Ugandan shillings. Now, having served as acting governor since the passing of Emmanuel Tumusiime Mutebile, Atingigo emphasized the need to address all cybersecurity-related risks. Now, according to his very statement, this is what he said. There are challenges ahead. A key one is cybersecurity. We must ensure that our financial sector is cyberproof. We shall work with all relevant stakeholders to enforce cybersecurity guidelines across the sector. That is what Atingigo stated. Now, he also noted that the Bank of Uganda will work to maintain the economic stability amid the global financial uncertainties. Now, he also said that we must consider global economic trends and their impact on Uganda's domestic economy. By being innovative, this is what he says, that by being innovative, we can actually anticipate future challenges and implement appropriate policy responses, that is to mitigate the adverse effects. That is what he said. Now, for his part, that is Professor Nwagaba. For Atingigo, largely emphasized cybersecurity. Now, for the part of Professor Nwagaba, speaking for the first time as Deputy Governor, revealed that their engagement with the Parliament included discussions on government borrowing and its impact on the economy. Now, he underscored the need for fiscal discipline, that is to safeguard domestic economic players. Now, Parliament was concerned about macroeconomic stability and the soundness of the financial sector. We explained the fundamentals that underpin a thriving economy and addressed there are concerns about debt and inflation. That is according to what Nwagaba said. Now, he pointed out the challenges of low financial debt due to Uganda's low wage economy and poor saving culture. Now, the lawmakers also inquired about the possibility of capping interest rates to make the borrowing more affordable. However, the governor highlighted that similar attempts in other countries like Kenya had failed, ultimately hurting the borrowers. You know, in other countries, such similar aspects have failed. Now, this is what he said. This is what Nwagaba said in his very statement. He said that we explained that an economy needs to be liberal to perform well, and only then will interest rates decline. Government borrowing, particularly domestic borrowing, competes with the private sector for funds, and this is a fact. If the government is borrowing from the same source that the private sector is also planning to borrow from, then there is a conflict. And definitely, if I'm the bank, I'll be honest, I wouldn't blame to the private person because I can trust the government more. You know, so that is the whole dilemma here. Now, the tenor, this is what I said. We agreed that the government should reduce its borrowing appetite to allow businesses to thrive. Still, Father Nwagaba added in his comment. Now, the tenure of the newly appointed governor and deputy governor will officially commence once Parliament submits its report to the appointing authority. So let's wait and see how that really comes about. Now, another developing report here, the East African Development Bank engages partners and showcases impact across the member states. Now, in line with its mandate to promote sustainable and inclusive socio-economic development and regional integration, the East African Development Bank has disbursed over $200 million United States dollars to Kenya, Tanzania, and Rwanda. Now, in the last 5 years, this is the amount of money actually the bank has actually given out to these countries through its lending operations. Executives said that is in a press conference. Now, these innovations have actually led to creation of over 110,000 jobs, you can imagine, across the key sectors, that is including infrastructure, manufacturing, agriculture, and agri-processing and social services. Now, notably, 49% of these jobs were awarded to women, reinforcing the East African Development Bank's commitment to inclusivity and what we call sustainable development. Now, recognizing the vital role of the micro, small, and medium enterprises, the role they play in socioeconomic growth, the East African Development Bank has actually financed over 10,500 MSMEs across the region, disbursing about 99 million United States dollars through direct lending and partnerships with financial institutions. So this is how it actually gave out these funds, partnerships with financial institutions and direct lending. Now, speaking of the East African Development Bank Partners Engagement Breakfast, Uganda's Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development and the chairperson of the East African Development Bank Governing Council, that is Honorable Matia Kasaija, commended the bank's role in driving Uganda's economic growth and social transformation. He also urged the East African Development Bank to prioritize funding projects that generate employment opportunities. So 110,000 jobs for the last 10 years has been created as a result of the East African Development Bank disbursing 100 million United States dollars across Uganda, Tanzania, and Rwanda. Now, in Uganda, the East Africa Development Bank has advanced a cumulative of about $209 billion to the MSMEs, a sector that serves the backbone of the economy. Now, the financing channel through the Rural Finance Enhancement Program and the Agri-Finance Enhancement Program has actually supported a wide range of businesses and created over 35,000 jobs, with approximately 60% of these opportunities benefiting women and vulnerable groups. That is what the report says. Now, the East African Development Bank Acting Director General, that is Bernard Bono, emphasized that the bank's investment in small and intermediary enterprises is actually based on their pivotal role in Uganda's economic progress, accounting for about 1.1 million of the country's total business. Now, this is what they say. We cannot understate the role of SMEs, the role that the SMEs play in Uganda's economy as key drivers of innovation and job creation. And this is a fact. SMEs are key drivers of innovation and job creation in this country. Now, their commitment to enhancing financial access and inclusion for small and intermediary enterprises remains steadfast. Now, through strategic partnerships with financial institutions, the East African Development Bank aims to support an additional 10,000 small and intermediary enterprises this year, fostering socio-economic development across Uganda and the East African region. That is still what the bank is still really embarking on. So, the last 5 years, 110,000 jobs, displacing about $99 million. That is the East Africa Development Bank coming in right there. Rarely in the tabloids, rarely in the press, but this time around, it just did appear. Well, let's go for the break right now, and I'm going to be returning as we take a look at what's making headlines in Hollywood, entertainment, and the music business. Stick around.
Smart 24, driving business.
Mama Naj.
How are you?
I'm okay.
Here are your bananas.
Are they good?
Very, very good. But you are always buying bananas. Have you updated yourself? Like you updated your stomach?
Hey. Mama Naj.
Look at this.
My balance.
The balance. Mama Naj to give you the balance. That is a criminal.
You can register as a voter or check.
Rukia, did you hear?
What?
Vote update is happening. If you don't register, who will vote for your honorable? Rastad.
Zara, did you send that report?
I forwarded your email this morning. Peter, can you imagine? I just verified my voter's details online. I just verified my voter's details online, and it's as easy as sending a WhatsApp message.
Online?
Yes.
Show me.
Uganda, your vote is your voice, and every voice matters. From 20th January to 10th February 2025, you can register as a voter or check to update your voter details. Visit our update center within your parish. Call 0800-200-071 or visit www.ec.or.ug today. This message is brought to you by the Electoral Commission of Uganda.
Bulu Magic is my joy. Ono Bulu Magic wange. Ayo Talaba kumabala atukuza nonyirira okirako enyange tayisa bubi fabriki kyonna kyekiri kigwa lwa Bulu Magic is my choice. Ono Bulu Magic ye wange. And the Bulu Magic is my choice. Hey, ono Bulu Magic ye wange.
That is what you wanted.
I just don't want you getting hurt.
Let her get out of my house already. You spoil the kids and then you're talking.
I want my son, Amuriat.
What did you say?
Sireka mumpulungusa wa dinach.
kankulage.
Twambuse wa chairman babiri kankubuli.
That's my man.
We have a genuine interest in your land.
Upgrades are nice, but stepping up is woohoo!
I got a surprise for you.
Upgrade today to get even more with Step Up.
That's huge.
I know.
So if you're on GoTV Max and upgrade to GoTV Super, you'll get even more with GoTV Super Plus.
Really clever play.
Get big value. Get big entertainment.
It makes the difference.
Get stepped up to even more with GoTV.
Man.
Upgrade today using the My GoTV app or dial *206#.
Oli mukyala munna bizinensi era oyagala bizinensi yeekulaakulane gavumenti ya Uganda ekuleetedde ssente za Grow era nga weewola okuva ku bukadde buno okutuuka ku bukadde 2 n'osasula mu bbanga lya myaka 2 ate nga gw'asasula mu budde olina mukisa ddala eri abakyala abanoonyi b'obubudamu nammwe abaliko obulemu enteekateeka eno egenda kubakolako mu ngeri ey'enjawulo okumanya ebisingawo tuukirira Post Bank, Equity Bank, DFCO, Centenary Bank, Finance Trust Bank ne Stanbic Bank oba genda ku mukutu gwaffe ogwa www.grow.go.ug oba okujja ku ofiisi za PSFU ku Kyaddondo Road e Nakasero ku kizimbe kya Trust Tower omwaliiro ogusooka oba okuweereza obubaka bwa WhatsApp ku nooti 762 3 nooti 49 omukisa guno gw'abakyala bonna okwetooloola eggwanga era ng'enteekateeka ya Grow evujjirirwa banka y'ensi yonna n'eteekebwa mu nkola Ministry y'ekikula ky'abantu ne Private Sector Foundation Uganda.
Grow, generating growth opportunities and productivity for women enterprises.
You used to tell me that I don't make you happy. All that time you would be complaining. I'll call you every day, yeah yo, baby dondolo.
Kati osobola okufuna ekibuuzibuuzi kyonna ne MTN Voice Bundle. Kuba ku mikutu gyonna ku Bei Dondolo. Gula bando y'eddakiika 25 ku nnusu 10. Bei Dondolo. Oba gula daily bundle yonna gy'oyagala. Nyiga *140*2 olondeko daily voice bundle. Oba kozesa My MTN app. Wetwogera awamu tewali kitulema.
Tuli mu January na ye don't worry kuwanga chiri super duper. Next and big salary loan, you are never left alone. Over school fees, over home loan, over you are just yalla. There's no other bank that can give you a loan that is better. 16% interest, 96 month repayment, 350 million in amount in Kugambia super duper. Chiri super duper, next and big is super duper. Chiri super duper, next and big bank super duper.
Chiri Super Duper with a Stanbic salary loan. Enjoy interest rates as low as 16% per annum, which is 1.34% per month, with a repayment period of a full 96 months, which means smaller repayment installments among other benefits. For more information, contact us on 0800 150 150.
Abantu bangi bafiira mu bubenje buli wiiki batugamba basiba mu 7. Oyagala okunnyonnyoka ekiviirako ekyo? Program vumbula ekidduka kyo.
Omuntu atudde munda, those are safety belts. Kisinga emmotoka efuna obuzibu ofuna instant braking. Kati weba ontudde mabega nze nsibye omusipi. Fa ab'emaaso nze driver nenkola instant braking nga gwe tosibye w'emabega. Olaba woyitawo n'otubuukira n'okuba omutwe mu ndabirwamu.
Omuntu yenna buli owulira ng'emmotoka yeefunye enkenyera. N'obuzibu tetambula bulungi, etambula ekoona tesiba, kibaka obuvunanyizibwa otwala emmotoka mu garaji.
Buli lunaku olwa Sunday essaawa 7 okutuuka 7:30 n'eddibwamu ku lunaku olwokusatu essaawa 4 okutuuka 4:30 ez'ekiro. Nange omuweerezaawo Davis Joe Eddungu ku Smart 24 TV kwe tuli. Ku DSTV tuli ku mukutu ogwa 372 ate ku GoTV ku 320. Program vumbula ekidduka kyo.
tandika olugendo lw'enkyukakyuka y'obulamu bwo ng'osumulula ebitone by'olina. Wano tussessira ku bantu ssekinnoomu abakozesa obukugu n'ebitone byabwe eby'enjawulo okutandika emirimu gy'okubeezaawo obulamu bwabwe. Wulira emboozi zaabwe, zuula okusoomoozebwa kwe bayitamu, era oyiga engeri gye batambuliramu mu lugendo lw'obulamu bwabwe okutuuka ku buwanguzi. Funa wano amagezi agayinza okuyamba ku ngeri y'okuyingizaamu ssente okuyita mu by'emikono.
Tugoberere ku Smart 24 TV tujja kubeera wano buli lunaku buli kadde tandika ssaawa 6 goberera ebyemizannyo tujja kuba tukutuusaako ebyo gy'otabadde ng'owaakapapula tetugenda kwerabira buli kimu tugenda kubeera naawe ojja kumanya ddakiika eyakusudde muwaliiridde wawa kyo ky'otaakoze tukubuulire mutendesi ki asobola okuwangula ekikopo kya Premier League, Italian Serie A, La Liga, Champions League. Tujja kuba buli kimu tukikutuusaako wano ku Smart 24 TV, Smart Sports, nange Kyeyune.
Smart 24, driving business.